Dobar dan svima, I am Moja Blue, and this is going to be a slightly different video because Geography Now just published, well, it's not just, it's been like 3 days, I think, or 7 days. They published a video about Serbia. So I'm really excited to see what he's gonna say, and I know that he does a little bit of digging, and then also he has some help from Serbia. Actually, he communicates with his listeners or like subscribers or everyone who's from that country, and then he, through the conversation and historical facts, then he puts a video together. And this time around he has a help from even his co-host, and I don't know if he's a YouTuber, but he's obviously okay with being filmed, or being in front of the camera. I'm filming with my cell phone actually, and I'm really thinking about buying a camera for vlogging so that I don't really have to set up what is it called, the focus, right? And also because the files are pretty big when I have to edit them, so this time around I couldn't do it because this video is 27 minutes, the one that I'm gonna watch, and there's no way I can fit 27 minutes in my laptop. It would be like I don't know, 3 gigabytes? No, 3. No, it would be like 20 gigabytes, I think, with my camera. So no, I think I'm gonna buy some vlogging camera or maybe a new cell phone. We'll see. Okay, sorry, this was a long intro, but I'm gonna start watching it. And I just realized that this thumbnail, well, it's not a thumbnail, it's kind of like a snapshot of him, is really funny. But let's watch Geography Now, Barbie, Serbia.
Alright, out of all of my subscribers, I think the ones that have been the most patient have been the Serbians. Ever since I made the Albania episode and had the pleasant experience of realizing the ramifications of making any kind of content pertaining to the Balkan sub-region, Serbians have been emailing me for years wanting to help with the Serbia episode, and
I've been waiting for years. That's me. I haven't been emailing him, but I'm like, when is Serbia gonna happen? It's been like 4 years or something? I don't know, man.
I get it. Serbia has quite a polarized reputation in Europe. It's kind of like, hey, show him some respect. Do you remember what happened in the 90s?
Yeah, I do. He was very cordial and polite.
He was not cordial to me. I like yogurt. Oh,
He did kind of kill our Archduke starting World War I, but, you know, teaming with the Austrians was kind of weird to begin with anyway, so.
Actually, that was a Bosnian Serb from our side, but basically the same thing.
oh, Serb talent, right. Oh, yeah, great man. Yeah, quite.
Okay, Montenegro. I'm sorry if I'm looking, I'm just checking if it's rolling. First of all, Montenegro, that's a very common stereotype. I don't really know if it's true. I do know some people from Montenegro. They are definitely not lazy, but I haven't spent a lot of time with them in their country, so I don't really know. I don't buy it, but okay. As for our reputation, we have a very bad reputation, and everyone's making fun of us. I mean, everyone like, oh, Serb, you started so many wars, and I'm like, no, it's not true. Some wars, yes, but anyway, it's the past, right?
It's time to learn geography now! Say hi to my friend, Ivan. Zdravo, brate!
Strava, brate! Desi, brate! Oh wait, he's a guy from the US! Who grew up over there, I guess.
Each other like, what, 10 years later, 15 years
15 years later, and he remembered that I was Serbian. Both my parents were from Belgrade, and I have my dual citizenship.
And you're fluent, right? You speak it?
I do.
And the largest and busiest airport, Nikola Tesla International. The second largest and busiest airport, though, is actually in the third largest city, Niš, Constantine the Great International, located in the southeastern part of the country.
I'm probably gonna learn a lot about Serbia because, you know, when you're a foreigner, you look at it from a different perspective. So I really like that. Yeah, and if you can see, like in the north, Serbia is plain, like in the Pannonian Plain. As you go south, it gets a bit hilly, and then it gets mountainous.
With Croatia, you will see the river has shifted flow directions numerous times over the decades, which creates newly formed mini Penne enclave river islands. The most contested ones see as an opportunity to jump in and claim for themselves as
I heard about that.
borders of a new micronation, like what happened with Siga Island and this Czech guy that came in and made his own country called Liberland. And a little further off, you have the Medurice Sastavci Bosnian enclave, but it's in...
Majorice? Man, I didn't know that it was that difficult. I mean, I didn't know that it's already complicated study from geography, but...
And this area has a level of autonomy, as it is the most diverse part of Serbia, with 6 official languages, and about a third of the population comes from 26 different ethnic groups.
The biggest minority, Hungarians.
Belgrade, Šumadija, and Western Serbia, and southern and eastern Serbia.
I love it, Šumadija. It's not Šumadija. Sorry, I keep omitting Metohija. We use like a shortened version, Kosovo, but it is Kosovo I Metohija. Kosovo and Metohija.
Serbian word for blackbird, and Metohija from Greek, meaning land of monasteries. The thing is, this area is about 90% ethnically Albanian, and after the fall of Yugoslavia, this area has been a hotbed of secessionist movement and controversy.
The thing is that I don't really like to talk about it because I never had anyone from Kosovo. I never went to Kosovo. Sorry, Kosovo and Metohija. And I don't really feel, yeah, sure, I can read something about it, but, and I heard stories, and I watched some documentaries, but I don't really know, like, pen on paper, everything that happened. So, yeah, it's a touchy subject.
Later, there have been no resolutions made.
Yeah.
Legislatively, Serbia has almost no rule or influence on the area, and in 2008, Kosovo declared independence, but the Serbian government did not recognize it. It was even taken to the International Court of...
I talked to one guy, he's Albanian, and he was living in Kosovo, but then I met him in Austria. And I think he was studying like economics, something like that, and he was like saying how, because now they're basically starting from scratch, there's so much potential to do something or create a business or anything like that. So I don't really know what the situation right now is, but I guess maybe there's some potential to start from scratch, I guess.
But long story short, you have to go back to Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia, Actually, that's not. It starts from Raška, I think. But even today in Germany, when they label like my country of origin, they name it Yugoslavia, and I'm like, but it doesn't exist. They're like, we don't care. You were born in Yugoslavia, so.
We need a cheap labor force. I'll just bring in some more Albanians. And from there, the Albanian population grew even more, and by the end of the century, 90%.
In Yugoslav Republic times, all the ethnic groups got along.
Okay, man, I haven't heard about this, but it might be true.
New countries ceded and became independent within the following years. So, of course...
Okay, now another important figure is Tito, Josip Broz Tito. He was the president, basically, of the Federation of Yugoslavia. And it was... I mean, I'm actually curious to see what other people have to say that are a bit older, because I was at that point, I was like just born. I was like born in the 90s, and up until that point, like already, like literally like 3 years later, they were, everything fell apart. But I've heard like really, really good stories in the sense that they lived well, and like you could actually live from your of your paycheck, go on vacation, and whatever. But I heard also that there was a different story in other parts of Yugoslavia. So some parts of Yugoslavia benefited, in particular Serbia that I know about, and some other parts didn't benefit that much. And I think that was where that might be. I'm like, these are things that I read when I was learning about Serbia. And of course, we're going to have a different version in our school books, or textbooks. But yeah, there was probably some dissatisfaction, I would say. And if you watch the documentary Tagina Lanza, you will probably hear much more, and God knows what all happened there. But yeah.
Why can't I?
Because, dude, you have always been an integral part of Serbia. It was the birthplace of our orthodoxy, a key part to the Serbian identity. Our most sacred monasteries and churches are there.
Oh my God. Okay, you know what? Everybody's breaking away. Guess I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No.
Okay. UN. Yeah, we did that skit based off of things that you guys, the Serbian and Kosovo Albanian geography, gave me information. I wrote it off of that. So
Yeah. don't claim that it's your ownership. It's basically like, I'm not giving you a political commentary, so don't take my words 100%. This is like only like the things that I've heard and read about. Yeah, I think that during the war or the wars, basically, I think it was. Wait, which one was Macedonia and Montenegro separated quite? It was like peacefully. Kosovo was like, no, we're not giving up Kosovo, because as they said, there's a lot of our history and also religion based there. Like as you said, monasteries, like a lot of battles happened over there. It's just like a very, very important cultural heritage for us. And I guess some people, obviously like you would not want to give up a part of your identity to someone else, and someone else can claim that that's what's theirs now. But the thing is that like one of the things that I've noticed through history is that you can go 100 years ago and then claim someone else, like Austrians can claim this is our land, and then Ottomans can claim this is our land, and then who was there before Slavs, and then Illyrians can claim, and then Celts can claim, and then it's like only depends on how back you want to date it, and then everyone can claim that it was theirs at a certain point, and that originally it's theirs. So that's why I would just really like want to stay away from these labels. So let's move on.
Petrovaradin Fortress, the sculpture.
Petrovaradinska tvrđava.
Tower of Niš, the Nikola Tesla.
Čele kule. Yeah, that's the one, the sculpture.
The Church of Saint Sava. Oh, and also,
Crkva Svetog Save.
we're talking about splavs. What are those?
Slavovi.
Splavovi are pretty much river clubs, nightclubs. If you ever go to
Spoiler, I've never been to Splav or Splavs. But as far as I know, each Splav currently has a theme, or like music specific. Some of them are like rock based, some of them are like house, techno music based, some of them are like folklore, or actually let's say turbo folk based. So you have different types, and it's basically just like a disco on a boat.
Plain surrounded by a bowl-shaped perimeter. This
It was a Pannonian Sea before.
made up of minor mountain chains: Kopalnik, Zlatibor, Serbian Carpathians, and Balkan Mountains.
Yeah, actually he pronounced some things pretty well. Kopaonik, Zlatibor, Karpati.
Yeah, there you go. We found something you could argue about.
I told you we would.
This mountainous area harbors the largest forest zone.
Oh, come on! It's just like the reputation of us being troublemakers. Not all the time.
The Voljavaroš rock formation with weird
Oh, yeah.
camp spot.
Javolja-Varoš, that is really intriguing, and I've never been there, and next year I'm definitely planning on visiting South Serbia.
River, and the largest river that makes up part of the border with Croatia and Romania.
If you want to know, Danube in Serbian is Dunav.
Serbia, though, would be the Morava, which flows northward from.
I love the accent. Like, I think a lot of languages have the accent with like 3 syllables on the second syllable, but for us, most of the time, it is on the first syllable. So Morava, not Morava, but Morava. And it's totally understandable. Like, I'm not expecting them to be 100% correct. And I think it's also probably because I also make mistakes sometimes.
Being Vlasina in the south, which is technically a semi-man-made.
Vlasina, first syllable, Vlasina. I'm really interested in if Ivan has a YouTube channel and if he's visiting Serbia and how tied he is to Serbia. Probably not. He doesn't probably visit as often, but because he's so far away. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to finding out what his experience is.
About a sixth of the population is involved in farming. They are today.
Agriculture is very important, especially for the north. And I think, as far as I know, in like central Serbia, there's a lot of like fruits being produced. But in the north, it's like grains and veggies and legumes and God knows what. So, and yeah, that's where we basically like earn a lot of money from.
Third largest producers of raspberries in the world after Russia and Mexico.
That's something I knew. I thought we were like, well, we're definitely not the first because we're a small country. Raspberries, maline. Yeah, we use them in our cakes quite a lot, and yeah, and I didn't know that we were some of the biggest producers.
Third largest plum producer after China and Romania. Today,
Plums? You know what I think of? I think of rakia. Because we can make rakia out of plums. Also out of raspberries.
which alone makes up about a fifth of all export earnings.
Oh man, if you know something about it, I'm so sorry that I'm stopping quite a lot, but I also am not sure that I can play their video for a long time. Some of our, what is it called, like a car brand was Zastava, and it was they stopped producing, but it was very influential.
Which also originated here in Serbia as well. Well, that's all for me.
If you haven't heard of, Vampire, the word vampire is borrowed from Serbian. Dracula is not, that's from Romanian. It's not really something like important for us, we just like talk about the word being from Serbia, but I don't remember any famous stories.
So, Serbia follows the Balkan style of cuisine, so a lot of the food we're about to mention can be found in other countries around Serbia, but with their own versions or twists on them.
Serbian cuisine is very mixed. We have different influences from like the Ottoman Empire to Hungarian food and like Austrian food or like German, and we love fatty food.
Gonna get out the pronunciations. But alas,
You do not have to read anything that's in parentheses.
Machenye, wedding cabbage.
Okay, pečenje, sadvarski kupus,
2. Ivar, white bean soup. Gibanica, Serbian style pork.
čvarci, pork rinds,
Barbecue meat stew. So,
mučkalica, baklava, torba, burek. I'm gonna pronounce it for you because I know that it's difficult.
a lot of Turkish influenced foods that
Yeah.
came in from Ottoman times, like sarma or Austro-Hungarian influenced dishes.
Rindfleisch, nenokle,
Krofen, 2 of which are
krafen, krofne in Serbian.
you probably consider the national dishes. Chavapi and Karađorđeva schnitzels.
Cevapi, he pronounced it pretty well. Karađorđeva šnicla.
Don't forget the most
Rakia.
important thing, a shot of rakia.
Rakia can be made out of almost any fruit, if not any.
Dolmacha, that's how you say homemade. It's dolmacha, and that is true. It was
Dolmacha.
actually also used for medicinal purposes. They would rub it on my chest like a vapor rub.
Yeah.
And speaking of culture, I asked some of you guys, the Serbian geography peeps, to explain.
If I would have like a throat ache, then they would just rub it here around my neck and on my neck, and then put some cloth around my neck.
Serbia.
I am allowed.
The truth is that we are maybe amongst the most hospitable people in.
We're so hospitable. How do you say? Hospitable, yeah. Like we're such good hosts. We love interacting with people. Yes, we are loud. Yes, we are proud. But for us, family and friends are everything.
One of the most important traits of Serbian people, and it's called inat. So it's not quite
My boyfriend learned that. Inat. Inat im se. I am giving you inat. I am like, it's not out of spite, but basically like, I'm gonna do exactly the opposite of what you said. Just because you said it. And I can do it.
despite of something.
About inat. Inat is something deep inside our blood. For example, you cannot climb that tree. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm climb that tree right away. And just watch me.
And jump from it.
The country is made up primarily of ethnic Serbs, about 83%. From there, not including the Kosovo population, the second largest group would be Hungarians at about 3.5%, the Romani at 2%, and the rest are an influx of various other people groups like the Slovaks. Of course, the official language of Serbia is Serbian, which, if you didn't know, is basically the same language as Croatian and Bosnian and Montenegrin, but they all swear
Controversial.
differently. Even if they're not particularly religious and they carry the crosses, it's just something they cling to.
Actually, I would say that the older you get, the more you appreciate religion. But it's not like it's like a personal belief. You don't have to go on Sundays to church or anything like that. So it's you believe in God, you believe in, like, you have faith, basically, and that's your own personal thing. And if you obviously want to get baptized in a church or like have a wedding in a church, then that's usually what we do. And if you want to go pray, sure, you can go there and pray to church, pray, and like at any point. But we don't do like sit down and like pray, very rarely, and we're never taught that, not even in schools.
Guys, seriously, okay, yeah, I admit it. I'm a little bit passionate sometimes. People sometimes can skew it as dribbling.
Živeli.
For one, the most popular sport is actually basketball, and
Yeah, actually,
water polo would probably come in second. They're tied with the U.S.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Jelena Jankovic with 50.
Jelena Jankovic.
WTA single titles. And of course, the big
Novak
guy
Djokovic.
everybody's heard of, world's #1 men's single player, 17 Grand Slam champion, Novak Djokovic. Guys, I'm not Serbian.
Djokovic. I know you're not Serbian, it's fine.
Just give me a break.
He knows so many languages. I think it was English, French, Italian, Spanish. I don't know how many more.
Smashing plates and glasses. Often the best man and maid of honor take on.
Smashing glasses is like if you're really passionate. I guess you can also smash plates.
Serbian moms will often chastise anyone in the house that leaves 2 windows open, creating the promaya or cold draft.
I think this is like, again, 3 syllables, promaya. It's not promaya, but promaya. But some people are gonna learn something from this video. By the way, I'm not bashing them. I'm like really actually surprised how much they can pronounce, but just as an FYI to anyone who's learning Serbian.
Instrument, the gusle. Usually these songs are accompanied by various types of Serbian traditional dance. The most commonly known one being
Kolo.
based on.
You need to learn kolo for a wedding, a Serbian wedding, or you will just learn it on the spot. It's fine.
In fact, you can find it played at the Guča Trumpet Music Festival.
If you want to listen to trubači or like the trumpet bands, go to Guča.
The second largest music festival in all of Serbia. The other being the Modern Exit Festival. In fact, Serbia.
If you want to listen to some modern music, go to Exit Festival in Novi Sad.
Even won the Eurovision Song Contest in 2007. Serbians also are pioneers of ex-Yugoslavic rock bands and turbo folk, as described by.
Rock bands were really, really, really important, but we know all the songs.
Geography, Radosh, folk music on cocaine. And also, I highly recommend you all to check.
If you don't know what turbo folk is, it's slightly folklore music, but as someone said, on cocaine. So it's like really turbo.
Yugoslavia, Kosovo War, Montenegro secedes.
Country works on trying to stay afloat.
There's no way they can fit everything, like the history of Serbia, in even in 20 minutes. So like props to them that they're trying to like put some just bullet points. So yeah, pretty accurate.
And most of all, Nikola Tesla.
Oh my God, Nikola Tesla, an ethnic Serb born in Croatia. That's at least what the official description is. So everyone's like, no, he's Croatian, no, he's Serbian. Like, just be happy that he was born, you know? Stop arguing about it.
Nikola Tesla is Serbian.
He is Croatian.
Croatian. He's ours. We claim him. No.
So many Africans are outside of Europe.
I know.
USA, Canada, Argentina, and Australia have the largest populations of Serbs in diaspora. Many moved during Yugoslav breakup times. The largest.
Actually, fun fact, people that follow me, mostly from Serbia. So you can write down all the comments that you have on this video if you want. You're very critical, which is actually sometimes really good. And then the second country is the US, then Australia, then a bit of like Canada. No one from, what was that, Argentina? No, I think almost no one.
1,000 Serbs live in South Africa, mostly in Johannesburg. Nelson Mandela was even made an honorary citizen of Belgrade.
Closer to home, though, because of historical controversy,
didn't know that.
Croatia and Bosnia are, on paper, enemies. But in reality, today, when people from these countries meet, it's like everything drops and they're just full.
Yeah, I mean, I know that people are still affected by everything that happened, but like I think newer generations are definitely more like closer. And especially if you see someone outside of our area, like the Balkan area, then that's even like stronger. You're like, oh, you're ours, right? Like you're our people. Like very rarely had any like inconvenience or like any very, I don't know, uncomfortable situation with Croats or with Bosnians or like Slovenians. Like actually what we usually do is like we celebrate our common, I don't know, anything that we have in common. So, and even things that we don't. So, yeah.
Slavs. The only difference is the religious background and maybe a few minor cultural differences, but otherwise they get each other.
Well, today most Serbs go to Greece all the time for vacations, where they are welcome.
That is true.
In the end, we're just a group of South Slavs. That's all we can say. We are Serbs. Živeli.
Stay tuned. Seychelles. It's coming up next.
Not X.
Max.
Why they call it jet fuel.
That is cool. I really enjoyed this video. I think is as accurate as it could be. And I guess if you have any comments, leave them down below. If you have some other types of information, let me know, and we'll see you in the next video. Veliki pozdrav svima. Ćao, čao.